Hello and welcome to day 14 of the 40-day fast. Today is Sunday, January 15, 2012. And so we're going on to the day 14. Now, since the day 11, I had to stop the water fast because I was not able to keep up with the energy to be able to do my 40-hour schedule and all that. So now I'm on the grape fast, just grape juice. And to understand what I'm talking about, you can read The Grape Cure by Johanna Brand, and that will explain to you what this is all about. But basically, what I'm talking about today is about what we've been talking about, the temptations of Christ. And we're up to the second temptation. I'm waiting for next week to roll in. We will continue with that. But let me just say something, when you do some fasting, don't start right away with a 40-day fast. I've been wanting to do a 40-day fast for the longest, but I knew that I was too big. And contrary to what people believe, the more you weigh, the harder it is to keep a long fast, because fasting is the fastest way to detoxify your body. Cheapest and fastest way. But the acidity in your body starts to come out. The first thing the body begins to rid of is all the acid. Now, Arnold Ehret, back from 1910s, 1920, used to call it mucus, the mucus that's coming out. So mucus accumulates in the urine, mucus accumulates, and it accumulates in the lungs too. So that's why you have to be careful that you got to start little by little and build it up, So once you are in shape, for example, this last October 24 last year, when I actually was 153 pounds, for the first time in my life, I was in what is called normal weight category. For a person my height, my driver's license says that I'm 5'7", so I should weigh between, my body mass index should be between 121 and 153 pounds. All right, but he was way up like that. I mean, like, what's 300? No, I couldn't do that. I mean, I did try a fast, I said before, but the fast was with pomegranate. I would just eat the juice of one pomegranate, the real pomegranate. They were growing in the back house, so I would grab it because a lot of the leaves, would come toward the house where I was. So I had plenty for that month. So I would think one a day and water. And but I wasn't working. I didn't have the schedule. I was not walking. I was just a fast, and I did not maintain as much energy as now. But now I'm working full time. I go 5 days to the church. I'm involved in the choir, with the band and the choir singing, and what have you, and I have to keep up the energy. So I figure I'm gonna do this because I think I can do it this time. I have to go to, to help me, especially with the subject that I'm talking about. And but it's always good to have a plan B. You start to do something, have a plan B, even the plan C, but finish it. If plan A doesn't work for the first, then try plan B and keep going. But don't just say, I'm just gonna throw the towel and forget about it. You gotta keep going. Right now I'm 147 pounds, which is good. I'm not losing that much weight because you shouldn't be losing that much weight. When you're already at your normal weight. Whatever needs to come out are going to be the toxins, So I understand there's some more fats, not as much as before. When I used to be 358, 325 and so, and I'm 147 right now. But like I say, the range can be between 121 and 153 to be on the normal weight category. So if God gives me the license, God allows me, I'm going to stay right in the middle, and like 136, 138, right there. So we'll see when the Lord will get me there, but this is a journey for me. A lot of people tell me that I have great strength of will and determination. I don't. For years I wanted to lose weight and I couldn't. But when I gave up on it, I said, God, your word has created everything. Your word has established the heavens and sustains everything. Let me see you do all of this in me. And he has done far more I ever imagined. He took me to all kinds of things to learn, in the internet, through friends, He guided me in many different ways, but he got me here. So it's been a fantastic journey because I've been enjoying him doing it, doing this care for his body. He created this temple. It is his temple. He can take care of it. So if you really want to, honestly, have the Lord help you with this, don't do it as if, if you have the power, because you don't have the power. I didn't have the power either, but I decided to just sit back, give it all to God, and relax and see where he was going to take me with this. And voila, I'm here now. So praise God for that. All right, so just persevere when you start any project, not just fasting, but any project. Have a plan B, and if it's something good, something that that's noble and virtuous, if there's any excellence in it, not only think about these things, but put it into practice and stay at it. And the Lord will help you. He has put it in your heart. But have different plans. Don't just give up at the first. So here we are. This week, I believe there was some toxins coming on my body. So a couple of nights I was very cold. It took me a while for my body to warm up. But now it seems to be back to normal strength again. I don't know if it's going in a period of rest. The body knows how to expel all that it doesn't want inside. So it's very interesting what's happening. But in anyhow, let's go back to the temptations in the wilderness. We've been talking about the first temptation. The temptation of Satan in the wilderness was to use the name of Christ to represent something else altogether different than what the name of Jesus Christ represents. The name Jesus means he saves. And the word saves is not just he gets people out of hell. It means he restores. He completes. He makes perfect. The word perfect in the Hebrew is to make things complete, nothing lacking, nothing's missing. And so that's the employment of the word. And all creation as it is right now, all industries, that's what they work for, to express the meaning of that word. They try to find a lack out there in the market, and they try to meet it. So there's nothing lacking, and that's how industries run, by that impulse, And so, and the reason why it's done that way is because, creation belongs to God, and we have to learn to express Him. He made all things, to express Himself through them. All things. The heavens declare the glory of God. The heavens are talking about God. Everything is talking about Him. What have I or you made? You and I have not made anything. We just entered into this creation. We enjoying the air that we breathe, the water that we drink. We're enjoying all of that, And what have we to brag about ourselves? We haven't even created a little fingernail. So there's nothing for us to brag about ourselves, but plenty to brag about God, And so He's sustaining everything, And that's what we need to remember here. And so He, as the one that sustains all things, since He's the Creator, the heart of the Creator is like the heart of a father, to spend itself to keep that which has come out of Him. That's what all creators do. They are the ones that train the technicians and everybody to keep their products working. Once you create something, the only inheritance you have is to just take care of it. So we came into this creation, and there are very few things to take care of to begin with. Because most of the plants, they create their own fruit. You don't need to help them. All the plants manufacture their produce on their own without the need for men to come and assist them. But man in this garden that I call this the toxic garden. The garden that God created is the tonic garden, the garden that heals and purifies and makes clean. But in the curse, when God cursed the earth, remember the word curse means to be made weak. The word baruch is to mean blessed. When you're blessed, you're strong. When God pronounces a blessing on you, He's going to make you strong for something. When God pronounces a curse on you, He's going to make you do things very deficient and very weak. And so in this industry, that so-called technology, we create what we call plants, big plants that manufacture things. But interesting, that's the name of plants, So plants manufacture this product and this product, but these plants cannot make things by themselves. People have to use their time and go spend their time there to make a product for that company and for that plant. Because in the toxic garden, the plant is deficient. It cannot create something out of its own. And usually the product that's made in a plant or in the factory, like whether it be video games, whether it be audio components, whether it be computers, all these things, if you examine all industry, most of it is just to waste your senses. There's a $1 billion factory industry just to waste your hearing. So you only hear all kinds of music, hear the movies, hear everything, but all that hearing does not fortify the ear. Does not allow it to stay longer. It's just to waste it away, to consume it. There's a $1 billion industry just to see things, movies, what have you, but all that is external. By looking at all the movies, by going places and looking at all the landscape, it does not fortify your sight. Still, your sight is being weakened. And so on. You can go on. $1 billion industry just to cover your skin, to give you all kinds of material that you can clothe yourself with, and you feel so nice and elegant. But all of that's still wasting your skin. It does not fortify the skin. Only the plants that God made, all the products of the plants that God made, fortify the eyesight, fortify, made strong the hearing, made everything strong, keep your body going. But now we have exchanged that garden and pay more attention to the deficient garden, the toxic garden I call. All these plants and manufacturing companies that we do work with, making products, and most of them are just for the wasting of our senses and not for the fortification of it. So that's what has happened when God has pronounced a curse upon the earth. He made us weak that way. We became kind of stupid and we did not see, how convenient we had it, with the garden that fortifies, and we had to work for that plant. But now that's what we're left right now in this situation. All right. But so lastly, let's go to the second temptation, because the first temptation was about the provisions. The devil wanted to make sure that Jesus used his name and status as God to make sure that all things were provided for the flesh, all the food and everything that you needed. And second, he was using the promises of God to make sure that the flesh got protected and nothing happened to the flesh. So that's the kind of Jesus that the devil wanted him, Christ, that went to the wilderness to be. But he did not acquiesce. He did not yield it to what the devil was telling him. So he retained, the meaning of his name intact. But sadly to say, and I keep saying that because that's the era in which we're in right now. People have a lot of the so-called Christians that I know, they want to believe in a Christ that empowers them to get things out of the toxic garden. The garden that only wears out the flesh and uses it and abuses it. And I don't understand that. Well, in a way I do understand it, because that's part of the curse. God said what's going to happen, so it's happening, But ignorance makes that even grow faster, If you do not inform yourself, you do not read the scriptures to find out the meaning behind the words. And that's what we're going to be looking at here more and more into the meaning behind each word. What the word blessing means strong. Curse means weak. Good is useful. Evil, not useful. Ministry means service. You got to put those words in tangible terms that people can understand. Otherwise, it's up in the clouds and everybody can give it any meaning. So, we're going to be discussing that as we go through. But I thought I would share that with you today. And we're going to leave it as that. And starting next week, it's going to be my third week. I can't wait to see, what God's going to be doing with this. But thanks for your attention.